It's wet, it's cold, it's muddy, it's miserable. Welcome to the life of a fishing YouTuber in the UK. What are we doing on this fine day, folks? Well, we're going to be doing some light cage feeder fishing. Now that the temperatures dropped right off, it's gone to minus figures through the night, it's time to scale back my approach a little bit, just to try and get anything I can on the bank. So primarily today we're going to be targeting the silvers. I'm going to talk you through my cage feeder setup and the cage feeder setup that I'm going to be using through this cold water coarse fishing series. I'm doing my best to film today. I can't even film on the GoPro because the GoPro is absolutely saturated with rain and it's just going to sound like I'm underwater or like a robot. I'm having to use my brolly to cover my big camera up, so this is what we're going to have to deal with. I should have two brollies really, but I've not planned that far ahead. I didn't think it was going to be raining this much today. I'm just going to have to do my best. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Let's get some bait mixed up. I'll talk you through the setup and hopefully we manage to catch something and then we can call today a success. Let's get into it. Very quickly before we tie the rig up, the setup that I'm using today is my Shimano Speedmaster in 9 foot. I've put the 1 ounce tip on it, so we're using a nice light fine tip to give us the best indications for those silvers. And I've paired that with one of my own brand reels, 8-pound mainline, and that's good to go. The rig that we're using today is really simple. I'm going to show you how to tie it up. It's a free running rig with a few changes to make it ultra tangle free. Then I'm just going to have that going to a light feeder hook length with probably like a size 16 or a size 14 hook. The bait that we're using today, let me just get this set up on the tackling bait mate there. So I'm going to be fishing straight out in front of me, so I've got this at a nice angle going towards that. So the bait that I'm going to be using today, I've got a high quality expander ground bait and I've got maggots on the hook, and that is literally all I'm going to be using. I thought about putting some hemp in the mix, but I forgot it. I forgot it, folks. It's sat in the fridge at home. So before I tie the rigs up, let's get some ground bait mixed. So I'm not going to use loads of ground bait today. I'm only using a small feeder. What my plan of attack is, I'm going to cast out a couple of times in quick succession to start with, just to help build that swim up. So I'm probably going to tip about 500 grams of this in there. What a horrible day. It didn't say it was going to be raining this much on the weather forecast, folks. We're going to put a little bit of water in there just so it's nice, light and fluffy. I wonder why there's nobody else fishing on the complex today. There we go, nice fluffy ground bait mix. And then I'm going to add a few maggots to that and I'm going to put it under my brolly out of the way of the rain. And then I'm going to try and change the angle of my brolly so I can cover myself and still film at the same time, but you might not be able to see me on the camera. So there we go, half of them maggots in, that's just half a pint of maggots, and the rest of them we'll keep to put on the hook. Well folks, if me getting out here trying to get some footage for you guys isn't worth a like and subscribe in this crap, I don't know what is. It's almost impossible, almost. Hailstone now. Right, let's get set up and get fishing. Is this the worst conditions we've ever been out in on WestysAngling? I think it is. Little 25 gram cage feeder. I'm going to be using one of my little running clip swivels to attach the cage feeder with. I've noticed that they've started doing these long boom sections that you can get, like a stiff boom section manufacturers have started producing for cage feeder fishing. In my opinion, it's not really needed. It does help keep it anti-tangle, but this is good enough. So I'm going to slide that up the line first, then very simply I'm going to put a float stop on, a big one, large size float stop, and that's obviously just to stop that running swivel coming off. I need to tie a twizzle boom section which is going to help kick the hook length away from the feeder. So all you do is set your main line and you start twizzling it up, getting it tighter and tighter until you're left with a tiny little loop at the end. So I'm just twizzling it with my right hand and with my left hand I'm holding the main line tight, and then trap it, and then just tie a simple figure of 8 loop knot. Now you can play about with the length of the twizzle boom section. Just going to take one of my disgorgers here. The end's got a spike, so I'm just going to use that to tighten that knot up. This is literally it, and then I'm just going to loop the hook section. You can buy pre-tied cage feeder hook sections. Or you can just tie your own up on the bank. Trim the tag end of the twizzle boom section, and then I'm going to pull that float stop all the way down to the knot of the twizzle boom section. And as you can see, that's free running. That little float stop is just to protect that knot on the twizzle boom section, so that you're not wearing it away, even though it wouldn't really anyway. So there you go. That's so simple. And like I said, that twizzle boom section kicks your feeder rig away from the feeder. Easy. Right, I'm going to tie up a hook length, stick it on this. It's just going to be a simple, probably foot long hook length to a size 16 or a size 14. I think I'll go with a 14 because there are obviously some decent carp in here. There's some big bream, there's some tench. I don't know what we're going to be in for today, probably nothing with the conditions. Like I said, it was minus temperatures through the night, and now we've got this storm. But we've got to give it a go. Hook length material, I'm just going to be using 7-pound Guru N-gauge, which is very, very fine. I'm going to stick one of my own brand hooks on. I'm going to tie it on with a knotless knot, and then I'm just going to loop that with my main line. And that is the rig ready to go, folks. If you can get that cast out, then it's just going to be a matter of fighting the elements, trying to keep dry. So, running feeder to a float stop, twizzle boom section, which kicks it away from the feeder, and then a foot long of a lighter hook length. Obviously you've probably got about 3 inches, 4 inches of twizzle boom there, so in essence it makes that rig about 15 inches, maybe a bit longer, which is going to be perfect for today. Let's get it cast out. Let's hopefully try and save the blank for today, otherwise I just need to make this video worth it. That's the long and short of it. Can't post any more blanking videos on the channel. There's some match anglers out there starting to say that you need to hook your maggots through the small part. I've always hooked them through the big part. I'm going to stuff this cage feeder full of that maggot mix. Nice short rod, easy cast. Check my drag. Want the drag nice and loose, just in case we get any lumps, because they are in here. And if it sounds like I'm shouting, I don't know how much you're going to be able to hear on the video, that's all. Because obviously there's the rain noise, there's the noise of the rain hitting the brolly, so I don't know. It's about midway. Take my line. Hiya, Dad. Pops is fishing with me today. I just can't show you what he's doing because it's just too rainy, folks. He is fishing with me, so if he gets anything decent, I'll show you. I've got a nice aggressive bend in the tip of my rod. That way we're going to see drop backs, and it's a really sensitive indication. So with this style of fishing, you do have to strike into the fish. It's not like method feeder fishing where they hook themselves. Sometimes they do hook themselves, but most of the time you've got to lift into it. So you've got to watch your tip, you've got to be more attentive. I'm covered in ground bait and rain. My hands are freezing. Drop my towel in the mud. You see, most YouTubers, when they're fishing in the rain, they've got somebody else there holding the camera with dry hands. I don't have that. I've got to be so careful not to touch the components of the camera with my wet hands. Oh, this is nice. It's died off a bit.
Don't say that.
Let's pops his in. That's a cracking hide. That's worth coming out for. It's a nice fish. Well, there you go. Save the blank. I just need to do it now. Yeah, you can go home now, Dad. You've earned your rest. He's getting a bit long in the tooth, his Papa West, for this kind of fishing in the winter. I won't drag him out as much through the colder months. He's never liked fishing in the rain, even when I was a kid. If I'm out here doing it, that means that you guys don't have to. Do I recommend it? It's nice sometimes, but make sure that you're wearing the right clothes, you've got the right waterproofs, so that you can stay dry, you can stay comfortable as well. Just got to make sure you've got the right gear. You just a flick out, are you, Dad? Out there. There we go. So me and Pops are both roughly on the same line there. Rain's starting back up, typical. But you can see I've got my rod tip nice and low down to the water, getting a good angle towards the feeder. I must be mental, honestly. God, what am I doing? What am I doing with my life? It's not going above 4 degrees Celsius today, folks. It's cold and it's wet. Tackle and bait, mate. Dry as anything though, hopefully. Yeah, it's dry. You see the lid comes out further than the bucket, so just runs off. It'll get a bit damp inside because it'll soak through the zip, but how waterproof do you want it? And just a bit of a WestysAngling update as well. I have closed the website for winter now. I'm really sorry for any inconvenience that causes people. There's a couple of reasons for me doing that. One, it made financial sense to, and two, it'll give me more time out on the bank trying to film winter content for you guys. I want to keep the videos going through winter. I am expecting a tough winter, so that means I'm going to have to put more time into the filming, potentially more sessions to try and get a good session filmed, if that makes sense. So that's what I wanted to do. But excitingly, I've got some new Olympian tackle products coming for a big launch in the spring, so that's something to look forward to. Oh, I need a coffee. I've not brought my flask down. I'll have to go to the car and get it. Thought you were in again then, Dad. The bites and indications that I'm getting at the moment, they're just too small to strike at. They're like little jagged plucks rather than a more positive indication. So there's a lot of small eyed in this lake, and it'll be the small eyed just pulling at the maggots. Even though I'm fishing for silvers, ideally I'm trying to target some of the bigger stuff. I'm not bothered about catching little tiny silvers. Like. I missed it. It was a big drop back. I was talking to you guys. See, that's the problem with fishing YouTubing. The amount of fish that I've missed talking to the camera. So far, absolutely tangle free. No stiff boom sections, just a simple running clip, a float stop and a twizzle boom section. Couldn't be simpler. Towel's a bit pointless at this stage. It's got more ground bait on it and it's wetter than my hands. It was a right good bite, that. I'm not sure how long we're going to be able to stick this out, folks. The size of these hailstones. Jesus. size of them! Ground base full of hailstone. They were huge as well. Hopefully that's the last of it, Dad. It in fact was not the last of it. I'm getting bites though. Right folks, this wind's picking up, I'm struggling here. I'm going to have to put the big camera away, take it back to the car, bring my rod in a second and then do what I can on the GoPro, but the GoPro's full of water so it might be voiceovers from now on. Struggle today folks, proper struggle. Come on, take it. So I think in the shopping basket is a new and better brolly, a new and better winter suit. My winter suits only seem to last the season with the amount that I use them, which is very poor really when you think about it, but here we are. Finally. Oh, nice hide. Hey, save the blank. Well, that was a struggle. That is a nice hide, that. Yeah, nice hide, that. Down the margin. Now the margins are very deep here. Hey, this is the kind of thing that's been... Oh, it's come off. Oh. Just lost another hide, folks. Tiny one. Wriggly little suckers. The point is that I'm now catching. I haven't given up today, and perseverance always pays off, folks. You just gotta persevere with it sometimes and you'll catch. Just couldn't deal with another blanking session. Just makes you look stupid, especially when you're filming it for YouTube. Makes you look like you don't know what you're doing if you're blanking every bloody time. The problem is that there's that much dishonest content on YouTube when it comes to fishing, especially the UK fishing. You think these big carp companies turn up to these fisheries and get a hit of like 5 or 6 fish? It's because those spots have been pre-baited for days beforehand and the carp are coming in there already. So that's what they do, and the reason that they do it is it's just not entertaining to watch somebody sit there for a full hour video and not catch anything. But a lot of the time, for the rest of us, the reality is that that's what it's like, especially at this time of year. Another little one, Dad. These are the type of stamp that Dad's catching. Just lift it up a second for me, Dad. Yeah, there you go. They're the type that... Yeah, that's what Dad's catching. And if you're watching the feeder fishing videos or the pole fishing videos of these match companies like Winning Ways and all the other stuff, all these sponsored anglers, they're in really well-stocked venues, and half of the time they've got the venue to themselves for the filming. It's just not a fair representation of what it's like fishing for 90% of the population. So you then get people coming out, especially in winter and stuff like that, they have a couple of bad sessions and they start questioning the tactics, when really there's nothing wrong with what you're doing. It's just harder, especially when it's been minus temperatures through the night like it has these last couple of days. But the main thing is make sure you're comfortable, make sure you're warm. I've got a lot wetter than I should have done, or I would have done if I weren't filming, because I wanted to get some footage on the big camera today, and that meant that I needed to use my brolly for that. So I wasn't able to keep myself dry straight away, which is what you need to do, is to get yourself set up and keep yourself dry all day, and it's more comfortable that way. Me, I've been piss wet through since I got here, so it's just been a really uncomfortable day for me today. That one's absolutely nailed it. Try out one of my new disgorgers. God, it's tiny. But on a day like today, any fish is welcome. I wish I'd have actually started off this morning down the margin, but it shows you that you should try different areas of the lake. Don't just assume that they're all going to be out in the middle because it's winter. Vary that, have a couple of different spots. It's always worth trying the margin, you know, especially if it's a deep margin like it is at this venue. It's about 6 foot deep in the margin there. Dad's fishing probably just past the pole line. He's been catching really consistently, but now I'm down here, I've been catching consistently as well, so probably had 6 or 7 of them small-eyed on the bounce now. There we go. See, it's twitching already. It's only just gone back in. Probably spinning around. We'll do Murray Poppins in a minute, I reckon. The wind is really gusting now. I'm having to hold on to my brolly. Keeps spinning. Like I said, I've got it pegged down at the back as well. It's just this section doesn't secure enough, so it just causes it to spin. But me and Papa West are going to wait for a gap in the weather, and then we're going to call it a day and get packed up, folks. I'm sorry today hasn't been as productive as I thought it was going to be, but I don't know what I was expecting with the weather and also with that massive temperature drop. But we've saved the blank, and that at this time of year is what it's all about. But I just want to say, I hope that you've still picked up a couple of tips from this video. If you did pick up a couple of tips, I would really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button. And also don't forget to click the bell icon as well. That way you'll get notified every time I post a video. Plenty more stuff coming through winter, all different types of fishing, from sea fishing to lure fishing and more, feeder fishing on commercials like this today. Right, I'll see you next time.